They need to monitor that all those illegal accounts, some ministries, departments, and agencies having like 10, 15 different accounts that are unknown to the Nigerian government, and yet the heads of those MDAs operate them. Now, anybody that is found still operating those accounts should be made to face the full wrath of the law.
Full wrath of the law.
The nonsense has gone on for too long.
Yeah. Viewers and subscribers, welcome once again to Think Tank TV. Now, for those of you who have been wondering, why is Nigeria this broke? Why is Nigeria complaining of lack of funds in the midst of plenty? I know that most of us are not familiar with economic policies, but I keep saying it to people that even if Peter Obi becomes the president of Nigeria today, the mentality of Nigerians must first of all be programmed, because corruption has been wired into the mindset of Nigerians. Yes, recall the promise that we are going to be doing well to criticize the government where they do wrong and also appreciate them where they do right. Now, the Tinubu's government has gone ahead to bring out a policy this new year. The leakages against the caterpillars, the cankerworms, the worms, and all the snakes and criminals in government that siphon the funds of the country and make the country look very poor. Yes, the Tinubu's government has proposed a new policy for all the ministries, the departments and agencies. And in this policy, they have said that every fully funded ministry, department and agency must go ahead to refund to the government coffers 100% of their internally generated revenues. And all those who are partially funded must do well to return to the government coffers 50% of their internally generated revenue. Now, Dr. Reuben Abati and Rufai Useni has gone ahead to dismantle the implications of this policy. And I'd like you to listen to it and share it to those who you think may want to know, because trust me, it's very informative. Please don't go anywhere, because I'll be coming back to wrap up the video. My name is Moses and this is Think Tank TV.
Kudos to the government. You see, when the government does well, we'll say it the way it is. Kudos to this government on following the TSA that was laid down by the Goodluck Jonathan administration. And kudos to them. President Buhari also tried, but had challenges along the way because of non-compliance. But kudos to the federal government on this, because we need the revenue. And the problem has always been about the MDAs. It's not that they don't make the revenue, but what's the accountability for the revenue? A lot of them have many sub-accounts that does not even tie back to the original account of the government. And guess what happened? Because of that, we lose revenue. It's so easy to be corrupt. It's so easy to fritter away money. But now they're saying for government agencies that are fully funded by the government, 100% of all the revenue goes back to the sub-accounts, the TSA account that are linked to the Grand TSA account and the Consolidated Revenue account. And also, for those that are partially funded, about 50% of the IGR goes back. So you have a money trail. While this directive was first made, a lot of people made exemptions, for the universities, saying that they did not make enough. And I think they had come out to say initially that the universities will be waived. I don't know if this full implementation absolves the universities from this, but this is a good one. This is laudable. We need to be able to track the finances of government. Apart from this circular, and I also like the fact that they say there will be heavy sanctions meted out to those that violate this. We are waiting for those sanctions, because only recently we saw the brazen disrespect for this directive, where the government official from MDA was found complicit in a case of corruption, or alleged complicit in a case of corruption. Because if everything goes to the TSA, we'll have less allegations of complicity in corruption. So I'm happy about this. Right on to Tinubu's government.
All right. Well, very quickly, to the extent that this initiative that has been adopted by the federal government of Nigeria is to plug leakages, to shore up revenue, to ensure fiscal discipline, to ensure accountability and transparency, and to block wastages and leakages in the revenue drive of the federal government of Nigeria. In other words, this is a commendable move. Number two, it is now clear to me in one regard, when the Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, said the other day after the National Assembly signing the 2024 budget into law, that look, the objective of the Tinubu administration is to generate more revenue, not necessarily to borrow. Now, this again explains, puts in a better, light what he was actually saying. What they are trying to do is to track the money, follow the money, and take the money. Now, the story that came out there is to say, oh, well, they have abandoned the Treasury single account. That's not exactly what they have done. What they have done, in my view, is to address a leaking basket or baskets within the revenue generation framework of the Nigerian government. And I'll dial back in history. Now, during the Jonathan administration, the Ministry of Finance and Coordinating Ministry of Finance under Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala carried out a system-wide probe of revenue accruing to the government of Nigeria. And it was discovered that many of these ministries, departments, and agencies and their contractors, they will collect money, they will not remit to the Federal Government of Nigeria. Many of these ministries, departments, and agencies, they have accounts, bank accounts that are unknown to the Federal Government of Nigeria. And those accounts, they operate independently. They do not give money to the Federal Government. How do you run a country if MDAs that are funded either partially or fully by the Federal Government of Nigeria do not remit money back into the account, and they are revenue generating MDAs of government? That was the problem at the time. So the Jonathan administration then came up with this idea of the Treasury single account, also came up with the idea of IPs to eliminate ghosts within the system. For you to get money from the federal government as salary, you have to be documented by government. So that was what the Jonathan administration did. However, what I suspect is that the Tinubu administration must have seen that those resilient, corrupt persons within the Nigerian system, in the MDAs, they probably found a way around it. And now that's what they are trying to plug. And that is why their approach is commendable, to stop the thieves bleeding Nigeria, including those contractors who take contracts from these MDAs. There are some categories of contracts. There was a document prepared by one of those agents. Don't let me say those things in public. Those are government secrets that you can't keep disclosing. But there was a study. We checked and discovered that some of these contractors that have special arrangements with government, they will say, oh, okay, they cannot return 50% to the Nigerian government because they face extraordinary circumstances. And year upon year, no money will be remitted to the federal government. Even when it is clear that those people are in business, they've not declared bankruptcy, they've not declared force majeure. The people are so privileged in Nigeria that the Nigerian government cannot go after them. With this new system that the Tinubu administration is introducing, if he stands by it, if he can summon the courage, if he can dare the lions, the hyenas, the snakes taking Nigerian money, then of course he will be able to realize the objective of generating more revenue, because half of the money of Nigeria goes into people's hands. Let's look at the measures that the Tinubu administration is proposing. He's saying that if you are partially funded by the Nigerian government, you will return 50% every month of your IGR, including the sale of tender funds, including sale of assets, and then on a regular basis, you will be given reports to the office of the Accountant General of the Federation to ensure transparency and accountability. And that office of the Accountant General is being empowered, which is also a good thing, because that's an office that has just been there like a decorative piece in the Nigerian system. And hence you have Accountant Generals of Nigeria making away with billions of taxpayers' money or of public money. Number two, The government is saying that if you are fully funded, then you will refund all your proceeds 100% to the Nigerian government, including sale of government assets, including sale of whatever tender offers, whatever money you give to the Nigerian government. Number 3, which is what people are interpreting as the abandonment of the TSA account, is that the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation has now been empowered to create sub-recurrent accounts. These sub-recurrent accounts, monies paid there, will be put into the Consolidated Federation Fund. Right? So the Consolidated Revenue Fund, the CRF, will now be the holding spot. Not all these accounts that various MDAs have opened that are operated by ministers and heads of departments and agencies illegally. I think it takes a lot of courage for the Tinubu administration to say, we are closing those accounts. The word they use is that those accounts have now been blocked. And any proceeds will be monitored by the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. However, what is important is to ensure enforce strict compliance. Under the previous administration, the number of MDAs captured under the Finance Act were reduced from 65 to 68. The present administration now has increased again to 68 in order to capture more revenue. But they need to ensure strict compliance, and they need to ensure that any form of violation is dealt with. They need to monitor that all those illegal accounts, some ministries, departments, and agencies having like 10, 15 different accounts that are unknown to the Nigerian government, and yet the heads of those MDAs operate them. Now, anybody that is found still operating those accounts should be made to face the full wrath of the law.
You're seeing it for yourself. Now, I keep wondering, what do people actually take their time to listen to? I never miss Dr. Reuben Abati and Rufai Useni's morning show because these guys are very intellectually sound. This is exactly what Peter Obi was talking about, the issue of Nigeria leaving the consumption to the production lifestyle. Nigerians are good at consuming, and that is why it looks as though the country keeps going down. Regardless of any political party, we must have a change of mentality, including the ministries, the department, the agencies, and including individuals. We should leave the issue of consumption, become producers in our different spheres of life. Now, the university systems has gone ahead to say they should be exempted from this remittal to the government coffers, but we keep saying it, that we should leave this perspective of always thinking of take. From the little you have generated, go ahead to generate. Go ahead to raise more funds for yourself in the ministries, the department, and the agencies. Like Dr. Reuben Abati and Rufai Useni has said, it is actually a welcome development in the Bola and Tinubu's administration. If they can keep to this, obviously most of the leakages in the different ministries will be siphoned back, and obviously the government will have more money to spend. But the question again is, it's not about generating more money, it's about the consumption of the executive arm of the government. Thank you so much to all our viewers and returning subscribers who do not take it lightly. My name again is Moses, and this is Think Tank TV. See you on our next video. Bye for now.